we devised this pseudo plan to go to somehow get to Pennsylvania, buy this thing, drive it back to South Dakota, and then just trade off every other weekend.
Yeah.
Stupid bus.
I can't help thinking, somewhere in the universe, there has to be something better than me. Has to be. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ascension to Ten.
All right. Here we are.
All right.
We're back for another one.
Back 2 episodes in a row.
Wow. Just killing
Back
it.
on schedule.
The team's back together, really functioning and all cylinders. I guess you would
Survived the clickbaity title from last week.
Yeah.
Almost quit. We
Perfect
never
thumbnail
almost
of
quit.
this. We just look like two
If that
kids
wasn't
pouting.
clear. Yeah, if that wasn't clear, we never almost quit.
That's right. What is this? Is this episode 18 now?
This is episode number 19.
19.
But it's really the 22nd episode we've done because we've done 3 specials.
Oh, right. Sure.
All within season 1. If you
Season
recall.
1. As a reminder, we are still in season 1. We haven't made that transition to season 2 yet.
Write to us if you think if you have a guess as to when season 1 is going to end and season 2 will start. Please write to us, boys@ascension.com. boys@ascension-to-10.com.
Yeah, there you go. Do you even know
know.
what our email is? Yeah, how long have we been doing this? Oh man.
Actually, how long have we been? Since February, when we
since
I think we
February.
released our first one, but really it's been in the works seriously
almost 10
since
months.
December 2021.
Yeah.
But realistically, this has been in the work for about 5 years, right?
Yeah, and I think that's a good reminder of what the show is all about. So
What are we
show's
doing
Ascension.
here?
Yeah,
What is this?
What are we doing
anyways?
here? So the whole premise of this show is Ascension to 10 is we have the intention to review sci-fi movies, and the concept came back from, I guess, 2014. There was a show called Ascension that came out on the Sci-Fi Channel, and it turned out that I was the only person of our friend group that actually watched it and kept telling people how bad it was. And
After you had hyped it. That's the
after I'd
important
hyped
bit,
it.
though. You hyped
well,
this.
yeah, the trailers
majorly.
got me. Yeah, the trailers sucked me in, so I was really excited about it. I thought it was going to be awesome. This 3-night special of an hour and a half every night, and then it turned into 2 nights, which was really weird, and turned out because it was so bad and nobody watched it, and and here we are. And that was the year, for some reason I had decided to go all in on sci-fi. And so I watched that. I watched The Expanse, and I watched the Magicians, and no one else watched it at the time. And it took till basically this last year to finally get back into watching more sci-fi again, because I was just so pissed off at you guys. But that is how we finally got here. Is Ascension was the worst thing I had ever seen when it came to a sci-fi movie, and that's how we've started this show, and we've grown from it. So
Yep. So yeah, around that time we were talking about, we should make a podcast called Ascension to 10, where we start rating.
Yeah.
Actually, it wasn't even a podcast idea at that time. It was just we should have a rating system of Ascension to 10.
Yeah,
The name
right.
was really cool, catchy.
Yeah.
And which, again, as we've discussed in the past, but have kind of failed to mention in the last several episodes, is that we do rank these movies on an 11-point scale rating system.
Yeah, we haven't
Ascension
mentioned
to
that in a
10.
Yeah. That makes us
and
unique.
That's right. We're crushing it in this unique sector.
Let's go to 11.
And We've had some doozies. We've had some Ascensions. We've had some 10s in the past.
We have.
Maybe for episode 20 we could do a quick recap.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Stay tuned to that.
We've reviewed quite a bit.
Yeah, the highlights and the lowlights, including the specials. Yep. So yeah, that was a quick little reminder of what it is this started as, what we try to do anyways.
Yeah.
Obviously this is not just a movie review podcast. We try to, in fact, that's more. Yeah. My whole idea
it's in the guise of that.
Is like, yeah. Cause I don't know, listening to a movie review podcast, there's plenty of those, right? And those, I don't know. I don't even listen to those. I don't even listen to podcasts that what genre we're in. And so
I do. I've listened to some.
Are we
not
better?
as good as this one?
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I mean, obviously. Yeah.
All right.
We've got a little
okay.
thing.
Well, we try to do some other stuff too. It's usually about talking about our childhood or other
that's right
shenanigans that we're up to.
You know what's funny about the Ascension, like when I was watching the Ascension and the Expanse, like first season and stuff, is that I was on a treadmill most of the time watching it on an iPad, which now we have this fat face challenge that we've been doing. And it's like literally the same thing. Like I'm sitting now and I'm starting to watch the Expanse again. I'm like season 4 now. And it's like watching if I'm not working, if I have to do it like at night and stuff, I'll watch the Expanse on a treadmill walking, and it has this memory from like this time where I was watching it by myself. No one else was, and now I know everybody is. I'm like, watch the Expanse.
He's just in this dark corner room in the basement on a treadmill by himself, watching bad sci-fi. Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the other thing is now we have this little fat face challenge because we both decided. Yeah, we decided that we have fat faces because we've been staring at our faces so much because we've added video.
Yeah, that's the thing. All the time spent editing these YouTube videos, I just have to stare at my face for hours. And I texted Spenny, like, "Oh, my face is so fat," and then we agreed that we have this mutual problem. Bryan, obviously not. But
he doesn't come on the show very often, so whatever.
So it doesn't matter. He's not part of the challenge. But as a reminder, that we started this 10-week fat face challenge on episode 16.
That's right. And
we are at episode 26. We are going to have some kind of reveal. Now, last week we talked about what our metrics are what we decided our metrics will be to monitor progress towards a goal, because we have this kind of gimmicky little Apple Watch competition that's been going on this is the 3rd week now. And it's every single week we change some parameter of it, or we say we're going to stop because it's taking us hours a day to get to the maximum of points.
Yeah, this challenge is just like the podcast. We just started doing it, not really sure what we were doing. And we're like, let's do this fat face challenge. No specific parameters. I kind of like, what are we going to do to like gauge how well we're doing? And we just started just killing each other. Like we literally started killing ourselves, just working out. And to the point where like we were working 4 hours, 4 hours a day, working out 4 hours, 2 to 4 hours a day. And this week, I think it finally came to a head that we were both like, no more. We can't. We have to change some things.
Yeah. Those of you who know us know that we're not starting from a point of high physical fitness, I would say.
No,
that would be generous. We're not, we're out of shape. That's what I want to say. Right?
Yeah.
And so going from doing nothing to working out 3 hours a day, every single day, 7 days a week for weeks on end, was
tried to work
too much, right?
To have a life.
Yeah. On top of what we were already doing. Right. And
so stupid.
So we did we are at the end of another challenge this week. You're most likely going to win because I sandbagged it a couple days. And I think you've gotten 600 points all but one day, right? You came up short 26 points or 24 points or something. So you got this week in the bag.
Woo!
The thing is, the Fat Face Challenge isn't about getting these points. This is just a side thing to keep us motivated. Little competition against each other. Okay, but this gets back to last week. You said you found your metric that you wanted to have
body fat.
A goal towards for week 10. You said it was going to be body fat percentage, although you didn't have the goal in mind at that time, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I said I was going to get it down another 9% or something, and I think
another 9. That. Okay. Yeah. You going to share what
That's a lot.
You going to share what that target is, or?
Well, what the body fat target is? Well, I'm going to lose another 9%. That's my goal.
Yeah, but starting from what?
Oh.
I mean, it's just
30.
9 minus 30. Whatever you're at, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just took me a second. It started at 30, lost 7, so at 23. So
let's go.
What is that? 14? Probably the least body fat I've ever had. So, what about you? Did you figure out what you're gonna
do? Yes, because last week we talked about how Spenny has this little robot orb pod thing. I mean, like these two.
Yeah, what you said is like things. You found one that was like $350. I was like, "There's no way."
I found the one that you sent me, the brand and stuff. I found it on Amazon from just a random list.
They probably don't make it anymore.
$350 for this thing. I was like, "Geez, Spenny, getting in on this fitness train." And then I went and found a body weight scale that also, shoots electrons through you and stuff.
Shoots electrodes up your legs.
Yeah, just electrodes, right? Not electrons, just full on metal spikes in my feet. But so I do have those metrics now too. So I have about a week's worth of those metrics. And I thought, you know what? I'll just do body fat percent as well.
Nice.
And I also have, I mean, that's kind of cool. I do have another metric of muscle mass. Can you have that one? Or do you have that analytic?
Well, I just calculate it based on percent body fat, what the scale says minus what the body fat is. Divide it.
Okay. All right.
Muscle mass.
So my little thing says, does that calculation for me, right?
Right.
So
it doesn't say just body fat. It'll say like 25% body fat, 75%. Will give you your 25% weight percentage to weight, and then your muscle mass.
Well, it will say in pounds how much.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, right. So I think I'm going to have a 2-part goal of decrease body fat, increase muscle mass. And so far this week, I've gained 2 pounds in muscle.
Solid.
In the 4 days since I've had it or so.
Obviously, I've hit a plateau
lost 0 weight.
Yeah.
But so we'll see. So that's the update of the Fat Face Challenge. Stay tuned. Obviously, we're going to keep these little updates going. If this is interesting at all, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I mean,
if it is or not.
The one thing I think last week, Jad and I both made some sort of chocolate chip cookie dessert as our reward for the week.
Yeah.
And then this week we both just went pound town on pizza. Just pizza.
We have similar tastes.
Yeah.
Similar cravings. And because to be honest, I could eat pizza all day, every day. Then shotgun a few rows of cookies and stuff. I guess I've never mentioned this on the podcast, but
you have a soft spot for something.
I have
a weakness.
And something that I've been in sobriety about now, off and on, although I'm doing pretty good right now. I'm sober for several months, actually. And that is Oreos.
Made notes of it for a while, yeah.
This is Oreos. I could, if I had the chance opportunity to eat pizza all day, every day, or Oreos all day, every day to get my calories, right?
Right.
Oreos. It's not even a question. I would eat Oreos exclusively for the rest of my life.
That's regular Oreos, right? It's not like any of the special
just
kinds,
single
right?
stuff, right? Got to watch my weight, you know. And
that's awesome.
And so it's a problem though, because if there's Oreos in the house, I'll end up doing what I call a line, which is just an entire row of Oreos,
because it crunches them up and
right. I'll do a line, a quick line, and because it's not an amount. I don't think about an amount of Oreos that I go to grab. It's whatever fits in my hand.
Yeah, right.
It's just one
How
hand
big can
width.
you get it?
And that's, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then
they're not that big.
2 handful, and then that's a serving, right? So two servings is a line. And then that's a third of the package. I can eat in one sitting. And so it's something about the joy. It's joy, right?
Yeah.
It has to be similar to when people do drugs and stuff. I mean, it's sugar, right? So it is basically a drug. It's tricking my brain into being happy for a little bit. And but so I go on these off and on sobriety kicks. I have been sober from Oreos for a good several months now. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm feeling
that's good.
Not tempted. I'm feeling like I don't need to go. But here's the thing. If I could choose
anyone
between...
wants to, they can always send him. If you want to reach out to us on socials, I will get you a pseudo address and you can send them to it. We'll start a wish list of Amazon Oreo cookies.
Yeah. See, here's the thing with that. I wish though that I could have control over, Spenny. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to be completely sober of whatever addictive, or I'm not saying I'm addicted to Oreos, right? But it's one thing to just quit cold turkey and never touch something again that you don't want to do, whether that be food, alcohol, drugs, doesn't matter. It's another thing to have enough control to have one and be satisfied with that, because one Oreo is not satisfying to me. I'd rather have none.
Yeah.
So anyways, I've been good.
Awesome.
I've been good.
Good for you.
And the other thing I was going to say about Fat Face Challenge stuff is, and how we've been working out. We do separate things. I don't know if we've made that clear or not, but we do completely separate types of workouts. Walking, I think, accounts for most of what
that's the most of it.
Is tracked as activity. But we both lift weights and stuff, but totally different styles, or we don't even talk about what we do. And then
that's true.
I do a lot of 10, 20 or 30 minute HIIT workouts. Mm-hmm. And I have now done this for a few months now, because I was starting to do these HIIT workouts before we started the Fat Face Challenge. And I'm not good at HIIT. I'm not trying to say that, but what I can say is that I have done hundreds and hundreds of squats, because that's all HIIT apparently is to these people that make these programs. It's just do squats, right?
Your heart rate just shoots up when you do squats, no matter if there's weight or not.
Yeah. Just body squats, right?
Yeah.
And I realized today for the first time that I was doing all these squats and I was getting tired, right? Getting fatigued, but it's like, okay, I'm getting better at this. So
that's good.
That was cool.
Yeah. Cool. That's
right.
awesome. I mean, I do weighted squats. That's one of my workouts, and that's where my heart rate goes up. And that's probably why you're like, you just burned like 600 calories. What the hell? And it's like, well, I just did 75 squats weighted, and I'm just about to blow my ass. So, anyways.
I just told Spenny that we can't swear for this episode because we are on a very tight timeline to get this published.
Yeah, we're
and
a little late.
It takes so long to edit this stuff. and do all the bleeps. So Spenny gets 1. So I have to make a note. Like 20 minutes in, I have to bleep out Spenny or
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. Anyways,
whatever.
all right.
That's all right.
That's enough talking about our fat faces.
Man, that's bullet points 1 through 3, right? 1 through 4.
Yeah, man, we've been flying.
1 through 5. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Next
so the
bullet
next
point.
thing is, I mean, we talk about movies all the time on this podcast. Obviously, that's kind of the overarching theme of the show. But we add other things. But I was just curious, what have you been watching outside of kind of the movies we do for reviews? So that was kind of my curiosity. See if there's anything that you've seen recently that you would recommend, and then I have some things too. See if you've seen any of them too.
Well, I just watched something last night for the first time. I don't know if I can recommend it yet, but this is on Apple, and this is a new show called Surface. And I have to say, I'm very intrigued for all the usual reasons that get me intrigued. This show looks amazing. I love the cinematography of what's going on here. Cool. And so I've only seen 1 episode, but the overall, the 30,000 foot view of this is, this woman was in a had a near death experience, and had this head trauma, completely lost all memories. And so is starting her life over again. And I think she's in her mid to late 30s or early 40s or something. Okay. And, she has to kind of navigate in this world, being told who she was, and understanding and coming to learn whether or not what she's been told is true or not. Oh, so it's a mystery.
Gotcha.
Yep. Cool. And I got to say, everything I've seen on Apple is pretty darn good. It all looks great. And yeah, other than that, we haven't really been like spending a lot of time investing into shows.
Gotcha.
It's been a lot of Golden Girls recently, man. I got to say.
Yeah.
Been flying through some Golden Girls seasons.
Yeah.
So what about you?
Well, so I talked about it a little bit, but The Expanse. So like when I have free time to myself to watch something, that's what I've been watching. So I'm finally through, I'm on season 4. I've just really been enjoying it. I feel like I can definitely tell when there was kind of this change from sci-fi to Amazon. Like there is a kind of different feel to it. But overall, still been really enjoying it. But there's 2 shows that we've watched recently, and we just finished one last night, and it's on Hulu, The Bear. And it follows this guy that takes over a family restaurant, and he's like this world-renowned chef. And just the way that it's shot kind of encapsulates like just the anxiety and stress of like running a restaurant that's like barely making ends meet, and just the intensity of it, and all these different characters who are just like, he's trying to turn this into like a well-oiled machine, and they're just constantly like pushing against him, trying to make it work. So I definitely recommend that. It's really cool. It's kind of he loses his brother and he has to take over the restaurant, and it's a family-owned restaurant, and he's just doing his best to kind of make it work.
So that's fiction, or is it not fiction?
I think it's fiction. Yeah.
Okay.
But
it's scripted.
Yeah, it's scripted.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like a documentary or anything, but it's really, really good.
Cool.
Based in Chicago. So it's about
cool.
like kind of like Italian beef restaurant that they have.
What was the other one you said?
The other one is The Terminal List. I don't know if you've seen that yet. That's on Amazon. That's Chris Pratt's new.
Oh, okay. That's new.
Yeah,
right?
That was one they were trying to make into a movie. It's about Marines, and some weird things start happening where he's the only one that survives from his entire group, and he's trying to uncover the mystery of what happened to everybody, and he kind of goes on this rampage, similar to kind of what we're going to talk about, Gray Man. So
I gotta say, Chris Pratt, amazing in Parks and Rec, right?
Yeah,
he's kind of, I don't know. It's hard to take him seriously recently, and I think it's because he's trying to be too serious or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so like the terminal list, this one does have a little bit. He's always been very supportive of Marines and kind of military. So I think this kind of had some true meaning to him based around it.
Okay.
They did want to make it a movie, and he said, "There's no way. Like, there's way too much to put into this." So it turned into I think it's 9 or 10 episodes. They're all like an hour long. So
Okay,
it's really good. It's really intense. You know, he loses his family in it, so it's hurts. So
gotcha.
yeah, but yeah.
All right,
What are we gonna do this?
let's talk about this Gray Man movie.
The Gray Man. So the Gray Man, it's on Netflix. Just came out, I think, July 22nd. So we're recording this now. It's only 8 days old or something. But it's actually based on a book series by Mark Gurney, and he has also written books with Tom Clancy as New York Times best books. And this book itself, it's called The Gray Man, based on research. And I reached out to one of our listeners and friends, Taylor. He's actually read some of these books, and he said that this is kind of a combination of Gray Man and Series 6 pieces to it. The guy that wrote this gave his blessing on it, so obviously he was one of the producers on this film, so he knew there were some things that changed, but he's like, it's good, I'll take it. So kind of interesting.
Okay.
But this has, I mean, star-studded. It's got Ryan Gosling, Chris Evans, Ana de Armas, who she's from Knives Out and Blade Runner 2049, Billy Bob Thornton, Alfred Woodward, and Regé Jean Page from Bridgerton. He plays the antagonist in this one, which is interesting.
Yeah, so does Chris Evans, right?
Chris Evans too.
Yeah.
He plays the very interesting guy. He's a lunatic, like,
yeah,
crazy. But so just some specific numbers behind this, and then we'll talk about more into the movie. So it's on Netflix, so obviously we don't have box office or anything, but it was a $200 million budget, had 80 cast and 1,023 crew. And then Netflix releases it with like hours viewed. So it had 88.55 million hours viewed for opening weekend, which is pretty good. Adam Project had
it's 2 hours, right? So
yeah.
Does that mean
So about 44 million people?
Yeah,
I guess if you would say,
yeah,
one person.
Yeah.
But then Adam Project was about 92.4 when that came out, and then Red Notice was about 148 million when that one came out. And Red Notice and this one came out with the same budget, 200 million. So it's a most expensive budget for a Netflix film, tied with Red Notice.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then I think about how Amazon spent $1 billion on their Lord of the Rings thing that's going to come out soon.
Man, it comes out next week. Or
nuts,
doesn't it?
Right? All this
That's
money.
Crazy.
Well, this must be the most expensive or the highest budget of anything we've reviewed, right?
Yeah, definitely.
By almost 100 million.
John Carter was pretty close.
Okay.
But
well,
no, I think
this was better
more.
than John Carter.
Yeah,
they got their money's worth of this one.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of details about, what was the preparation for the actors to do this show, this film. And like Ryan Gosling, he has never been in like a fight action film. So he had 7 months of like intense martial arts training for it. And then like all these, I think there's 9 like full like sequenced action scenes in this film. Like it was nonstop like action.
Yeah.
But there was like specific points where like there's just chaos where they had to like perfectly script everything. And just the fact they all had to do this choreographed fighting and everything to get it started. And it was cool. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was kind of, Do you remember the movie 2012, a disaster movie?
Yeah.
And just in general, how it just never stopped, right? There was one planet ending sequence after another for 2 hours, right?
Yep.
That's what this movie reminded me of in terms of
It did.
the action sequences, because there was minimal time spent on getting to know characters, right? You get to know Gosling's character a bit, but there's very, very little actual story to this movie.
Yep.
It's just kind of
it really is
an objective that gets done over the course of a day or something, or 2 days.
Yeah. I mean, it happens fast.
Yeah, and it's
it
entertaining.
Didn't feel like 2
right?
hours.
Yeah.
That's why there's comedy involved in it. Like Ryan Gosling character he's pretty funny throughout all of it.
Yeah, and Chris Evans too. He had kind of more of the
he got shot in the butt.
Yeah.
In one scene.
So yeah,
a dart in the butt.
Are you going to talk about who directed it and stuff? Because that kind of it plays into.
Oh sure, yeah,
what this movie
the Russo
is.
brothers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm trying. It's Anthony Russo. Who's the other one? I can't think of what his name is. Hold on one second. Why can't I think of his name? Joe. It's Anthony and Joe Russo. Okay. And those two are the ones that wrote and directed the Avenger films. So that was a big.
All of them?
That's
right?
a big. Yeah, all of them.
There's 5 of them? At least 4. I think there's might be 5. Whatever, doesn't matter. They did a lot.
Yeah.
All high action sequence,
and they did
high budget.
Yeah, they also did the Captain America ones as well. They might have done more than that too.
So
they've done lots.
So that's all to say that this is very much in the style of those kind of movies. But there's the heroes in this case aren't gravity defying superheroes. They're kind of just ridiculous type spy type action people.
Yeah, definitely. And they have it was kind of interesting listening to them talk. So one of the big things was they had to make one thing that they talked to the writer about the book, Mark Gurney, was making sure that they were able to kind of incorporate some more personalized, or make him more what's the word I'm looking for, make it so he was more, in the books he's much more this intense kind of just assassin, and give him some personality that makes him more likable. And in the books themselves, he didn't have a lot of friends or anything, so they had to kind of work a way to kind of incorporate having some support throughout these films. If that makes sense.
That's kind of interesting, because Ryan Gosling, one of my last notes here is that he had almost no lines, right? He said almost nothing the entire movie, because his character is so walled off from feeling anything, like pain, being the biggest thing, right? But any emotion. And so he's as stoic as possible throughout every single sequence of events. It's like it doesn't bother him. He's not fazed by anything. And the result of that is he doesn't really seem human. And I'm not talking about he's superhuman. I'm saying that he doesn't, he elicits no emotions, right? He shows no emotions. And so he kind of elicits no emotions. And so it's funny that you were now saying that they had to make him more, I don't know. I think they kind of fell short, to be honest, if that's what their goal was.
So one of the things in the books that I've read about, I haven't read the books, but I read that kind of like the backstory is he is actually in the film, that opening scene, he is talking to the CIA agent. He's in prison because he killed his dad. You don't get the backstory till later on, like why he killed his dad. But in the books, he's actually part of this team that he was working for, like a drug cartel, and he killed 3 people, and then he got caught, and that's how it came to be. So I think it was trying to add some, I don't know, some human element to him and his character.
Yeah, I mean, he has morals. He has a sense of right and wrong, and
right.
who the bad people are. So that's, I'm not trying to suggest he doesn't do that, right?
Sure.
And he obviously is a good guy that you would want to root for, but it's like, if their goal was to make him more human, I don't know if it's just Ryan Gosling doesn't act like, I don't know, because I haven't really seen many movies with him in it, but what I have seen, he's always just kind of the same. He delivers lines the same way no matter what he's doing, and I don't know.
He does. He delivers his lines in kind of a, like, but he's not a type of person that kind of monologues in any of the movies that he does. It's kind of like short one takes, one lines, not a lot of like, inflection, but it gets, he comes across okay, but compared to other films that we've talked about.
You want to hit us with a synopsis?
Sure, might as well. This one's probably not as funny as the other ones have been. While Sierra 6 was on a mission to take out his target, he uncovers that he's taking out one of his own teammates and learns secrets that put a target on his back. This full action film follows Sierra 6 as he tries to find out the true answer, travels across the world to save his mentor and his niece, while trying to survive a lunatic mercenary who is terrible at shooting guns.
Nice.
Yeah. But this movie, the premise of this is, at the beginning, he's in prison. The CIA says, we know you're good at killing people, essentially, and we want you to come work for us.
That made no sense to me at all, especially considering the circumstances by which he killed his dad. So we can fast forward a bit.
Yeah,
there were a couple flashbacks throughout the movie that painted his dad as this insane person that wanted to make his 2 boys as tough as possible. And so he would burn them with things. He would kind of drown them in the bathtub. He would abuse them in every possible sense of the way, verbally, physically, psychologically, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. Terrible, terrible person.
Right.
And at one point it sounded like, well, you don't see this, the dad was almost going to, sounds like he was almost going to kill his brother. Right. And so main character, he found his dad's gun, killed him when he was a boy. Mm-hmm. What about that makes him a good candidate for espionage?
Well, Fitzroy does say he knows the true story, and he said, if it was me, I would have done the same thing. So maybe he's thinking he's got a moral conscience, but he's still able to kill people. I think that's what they're going for there.
Yeah, I think, and then more practically, this top secret set of spies that the CIA is devising, they need a subset of people on their payroll that it doesn't matter. They're completely expendable.
They have no file.
It does not matter who they were. They have to be nobodies, basically. Have to be from basically off the grid. And they have to be expendable in every sense of the way.
Yep.
Every sense of the word. So they find convicts and whatever. And but yeah, to suggest that when he shot his dad in the back from a foot away as a teenager, to suggest that means he's this,
that's fair,
has the potential to do 360 no scope sniper shots while falling down a stairwell. It doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay.
Well, so he joins this. It's called the Sierra. group or it's not a club. It's just the Sierra team. The Sierra team. Sierra Clubs is
Make it sound like it's different. A resort, like a Sandals membership.
The Sierra team. This elite. It's an elite program. But he accepts it, and it flash forward to like 18 years later, where he's basically been trained for like 18 years to be.
I missed that.
Assassin.
18 years.
Yeah.
I completely missed that because they didn't try and make him look younger at all in that first scene.
No, I think. I think in real life he's like 41, so
okay,
he must be 23, and then flash forward 18 years.
Okay,
41.
all right, whatever.
Anyways, but one thing that was in this section is he's trying to kill somebody, but he's two floors down, and he has this gun that he can hear that. I couldn't quite figure out exactly what the gun did, other than when he pointed it up, he could hear what they were saying, so he could figure out where they were in reference to the room. But somehow he knew that there was like a kid there, and he couldn't take the shot because he knew it would kill the kid, so he just backed out, and it causes for a sweet, fighting scene where he just all of a sudden starts stabbing people with chopsticks and knives, and there's a big fight and explosion out the front door, and cool stuff.
I have to say that one of the first notes I took about this movie is in this opening scene, it has this fairly kind of dark attitude. It seems like it's grim. There's no humor in it at all in the beginning, right? Especially in this first bit of action. Unlike how in the Avengers movies, there's always comedy sprinkled in throughout even the most intense alien laser battles and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because that's just how they write it. And later on in the movie, that's more of the theme. But in this opening scene, it's very, very grim, very dark. And what ruins that is this head analyst, the guy in charge running the
Carmichael.
It's this young guy in his 30s or something, Carmichael. And he has it's just the worst kind of tone or something. He's too just kind of cavalier. I don't know, maybe that's not the right word, but he's too just kind of nonchalant in this back of the room with his legs crossed, watching this op unfold. And he just, I don't know, it's scripted so kind of weak for who the character ends up being. I don't know. I just had a major problem with that.
I mean, he was playing this character that he was, it seemed like he was, a little over the top with the fact that all of a sudden he is like the head of this. And like you said, like he's super young. Like it wasn't the most realistic thing that he'd be the head of this CIA, but whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. The other note that took away from this first bit of action is that they just insisted about 3 or 4 times throughout the movie. They insisted on having this drone shot where the drone would fly, do this aerial within a building or within. It just looks so cheesy.
Let's
and
do
dumb,
drones.
Right?
Come on, let's fly it under a bridge. That's No, that was one of the comments that I made, because it was. I think the first time I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's really cool." But then they just kept doing it. Like they're like, we've got this drone for the next 3 days. We have to get as many drone shots as we can.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And
it's just,
the Russo brothers.
Drones. I'm going to say this as a blanket statement. Drones do not work at night or in dark. Drones only work in daylight, outside, if there's some kind of cool scenery or some kind of cityscape. It does not work flying around in the inside of a dark building at night. Just that's the statement. If I'm wrong about that, you're gonna have to write to me, write to us, and prove me wrong. It doesn't work. It didn't work here. It's stupid.
But what's funny is the Russo brothers are known to plan out really. They really focus on planning, so they don't cut things out of their films. So they shoot, and that's what they're going to keep. They don't go, let's shoot a bunch of extra stuff and then we'll just cut it out later. So it's interesting because they kept all those drones in, and it's noticeable. I mean, there's a lot of drone stuff in there. But it's just funny that you made that comment, because the Russos, there's a specific line where they talk about, they're like, well, we really focus on making sure we don't cut things out, so we make sure we shoot it exactly how we want it. I don't know. It might be just the taste. Some people prefer that, like the drone shots and the filming. Some people don't. I think it can be done well, but I agree. There was just too much of it in this one.
The thing is, it hasn't changed, though. It hasn't changed since the early 2000s. The only thing that's changed is that it's not in 12p anymore, right? You can actually see but I don't know. It's
it was cool seeing Six basically stab people, and he gets into this big fight, and there's a huge explosion. It's like fireworks on New Year's, and he is down in this pit where all the fireworks are firing, and he finds the guy that he's supposed to be kill, and he finds out that it's actually another guy part of the Sierra team, which is Sierra 4, and he hands him this encrypted locket that has all these secrets on it, and Sierra 4 dies during it, and then he gets out of there, and it turns into this kind of now the head of the CIA, this Carmichael guy, now wants Six because he thinks he has what he's looking for, and it has some secrets on the encrypted file USB port slot. What's the thing? Memory card.
Okay. As you mentioned, or as we talked about already, he was recruited to be this top secret, no information about him kind of spy, right? Throughout the movie, they repeatedly, especially Chris Evans' character, they repeatedly talk about how him specifically, Sierra 6, has a reputation for getting the most insane things done, or being this great operative. What about, how is that compatible with being top secret? Nobody knows who you are or where you are or what you've done. How does having a reputation for doing all this insane stuff align with knowing even that there are other Sierra things, Sierra people?
Well, it's funny because they literally, like, there's a part where the guy, this Carmichael guy, like, has Sierra 6's file. He opens it and it's just empty. But like they know all this stuff about.
But yet he was in charge of him in that op. He was telling him what to do. If you don't have a file about him, then you don't know who the person is. That's kind of the point of being this ghost agent, right? They clearly could have added a picture to the file. That's the least they could have done, right?
I mean, they were watching him on video, weren't they? In the room, so they know what he looks like.
They sent another agent that's not even in the Sierra program out to help him, and she just walked up to him and said, "Yo, what's up?" Here's a squirt gun. And so they know zero information about who they're controlling, and yet they can go tell another spy out to say, "Oh, he's that one," right? Anyways.
It turns into this. He uncovers he has a secret. He knows immediately he has to get it away. Like, he knows they're going to be looking for him, so he mails it to one of his old boss's friend that lives in the Czech Republic, Prague.
Yeah, and like a former higher chain of command kind of person.
He immediately calls the guy that got him out of prison, Fitzroy, who is kind of his mentor and started the Sierra club, not Sierra Club. That's a nonprofit. Anyways,
sandals.
but they figure out some way to get him on a plane and get him back. And then Chris Evans' character is hired by the CIA. So the CIA hired a mercenary who failed out of the CIA school to come and basically get Fitzroy, steal his niece, and go get Sierra 6 because he can do things outside of the CIA because he's not attached to the government and he's crazy, essentially. And let's see. Yeah.
This never makes sense to me when action movies hire mercenaries because they're outside the law, right? Everything always comes down to receipts, right? It's how the government works. It's
right.
where the money's going, right? And if they're going to run their own op, they're going to spend their own money doing on stuff, right? That has to be, whatever, above water. And yet they can hire a mercenary, have that paper trail, and then it's fine. And so what's the difference? I've never understood this. Like, they're still funding this entire operation.
It's off the books, man. This is off the books.
So then why couldn't they keep their own agents off the books? Right.
Well, there's employment laws and number of hours you can work and the health occupational
health too, right?
yeah
OSHA standards.
Plus, you should know, if you file an expense report, it's gonna fight you in the hands. After he gets on this plane, and then he is trying to get back, I think back to the U.S. or somewhere to be safe. But during this, Lloyd Hansen, who is Chris Evans' character, captures Fitzroy and takes him in this car. And Sierra 6 calls Fitzroy's character and is like, "Hey, I'm on the plane. Like, I made it." And basically has to tell Fitzroy has to tell the men that saved him that you have to kill him. But he knows that Sierra 6 is going to survive because Lloyd is going to kill Fitzroy unless he tells them to kill Sierra 6. And then Sierra 6 somehow doesn't die. The plane falls apart, crashes. He doesn't have a parachute. He grabs another guy, strangles him, hits his backup parachute, and lands. Is that right?
Something like that. It was intense. There was a lot going on here.
It was cool to see, but
it started out really cool. The plane segment started out really cool. The stuff midair, I just don't understand why they have to try and make action movies look as insane as possible, but because it always looks ridiculous, right? It's not there yet. If you can't make something look good in your mind, this is like whatever. What was it? The Star Wars prequels or something, right? Or something along those lines. A sequel that came out 50 years afterwards because you didn't think.
Oh, you're talking about the ones where they re-released them in 1997 and they added things to it?
No, I'm saying that I thought it was Star Wars where he waited so long to do 1 through 3 because he knew that in his mind technology had to catch up. Or like,
okay, anyways,
whatever, doesn't matter. What I'm saying is that everything midair looked stupid. It looked too ridiculous because they tried to do too much. If you can't make it look good, don't do it. That's kind of my attitude about it. All the stuff in the plane was really cool because they had whatever wire work that they did with him flying up on the kind of the ceiling part and then off to the side and all this stuff. It looked really really cool. But yeah, he blows up a plane and
ends up in Turkey
and manages to.
I think he's in Turkey.
Yeah. Yep. Something.
Yeah, but I don't.
So
he ends up in Turkey, and then we have the flashback to him with Fitzroy's niece, who he has to go and protect because she just had a pacemaker put in her heart, and Fitzroy has to go on a trip for multiple months, so he has to watch over her and basically babysitter / bodyguard.
Well, and I think it was the fact that Fitzroy's location or address
That's right too.
was leaked.
Yeah, you're right.
Inadvertently. Yep. Yeah. And yeah, so flashback of them getting to know each other, classic. They don't like each other right away, and then over the course of a small amount of time, they grow to have this bond, right? Enough so that he will go to the ends of the earth to save her, which is what Fitzroy was counting on the whole time, because when Lloyd captured her, whatever.
Exactly.
So series of events. He next goes to this passport smuggler, counterfeit passport guy that also happens to know how to track pacemakers. He just kind of moonlights two different things. He can make fake passports and he can track pacemakers. But there's a bounty on his head, so the passport guy traps
He's
him
already
in a
put
thing,
in a trap door
pit, like a Silence of the Lambs. And
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 that's
then he
exactly
MacGyvers his way out at the exact right time.
He builds a bomb.
Does a little bit of builds a bomb out of some dental floss and some fabric and stuff, and he escapes at the exact moment that he knows when Lloyd's team is going to show up.
Do you know? Did you know who that did that was the guy that played Pablo Escobar on Narcos? Was the guy that did the? Oh, you haven't seen it?
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Okay. Well, that doesn't matter as much to you, but it was just funny seeing him play like this nerdy guy, and previously, he played Pablo Escobar, like the king of cocaine. So, he's all over.
So this was I think this sequence when he escapes it was actually something that I saw on as a trailer or something, or they did kind of a sneak peek that I saw somehow. And it's another just insane action sequence. And it involves Ryan Gosling getting pepper sprayed in the eyeballs, having zero reaction to it, and then them just fighting and stuff, and grenades going off, and then just him just kind of casually walking away after he.
That's part of his training. That's part of his training. They just spray pepper spray in your eyes so you get used to it. Yeah,
sounds intense.
Just like
I don't know. I guess they must have stabbed him multiple times in the gut and the arm.
It's like the Princess Bride, where they switch the wine, and iocane powder. He has built his threshold up to the point where it doesn't kill him, and the other guy dies. It's probably something like that. Anyways,
something like that. Yeah, he's been inoculated with pepper spray enough times where he has zero reaction to it, right? But then complains about it later, after he has this perfect marksmanship, every gun he shoots, right?
But then he gets rescued by
I think
his helper.
Yeah.
What's her name in the film?
From the first op,
and she.
Yeah, because she's been accused of helping him.
Like she knew the inside,
and she doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't care. She just wants her good name reinstated, and so she thinks that by capturing him, which. They hired Lloyd, a mercenary, with an unlimited Facebook network of other mercenaries that he can just hobble together on multiple ops. And then another expanded universe of bounty hunters, and that apparently are the best in the business. Come to us. We'll find anyone. We'll find the guy that's been trained for 30 years to not leave any trail of any kind of identification at all. He's literally called a gray man. And then she finds him in about 5 minutes.
Totally. She just had a hunch. But
just had a hunch.
But I'm gonna just add this little tidbit. So it was kind of interesting. So Marvel has a connection. They have a brand connection with Audi. So Tony Stark drives Audis, and then in this film they have a connection. They specifically said that the reason that they wanted to be a part of this is that they knew that this would have a global connection to people with this film, and so Audi was in this. And when the Gray Man or Sierra 6 gets saved by his little sidekick, she throws him in the back of a Q4 Sport Pack e-tron. And then earlier in the film, there's a Audi RS e-tron GT. And then further down the road, when there's this sweet sequence that's coming up, they drive an Audi RS7, or RS7, thank you, Sportsback. And then the bad guy drives an Audi R8 Coupe. And it's all about just, basically they buy their way into these films so they can have the branding on it, which is cool to see. But at the same time, it was just, I don't know. It's kind of, it's blatant.
Very
like
blatant.
It has no connection to the, doesn't have any connection
blatant.
to the actual film,
Yeah.
but it was just, see,
yeah,
you just keep seeing different Audis show up and you're like, what does this have to do with anything? It's like nothing. It just looks cool.
So this made me think of a story from our childhood in a roundabout way. Maybe not what you're thinking of.
Okay.
So Audi, there's no real Audi connection here, even though there's an Audi connection with you growing up.
Oh, got it.
But
okay, got it. Anyways,
so I noticed the obviously the Audis and then the e-tron right away. It made me think about how it'd be cool to have an electric car. I was thinking about all the cool electric cars that are either currently for sale or in production or have been talked about for a while. And I've, for many years, thought it would be crazy dope to have the electric VW bus.
Yeah.
Because the concept for that is awesome, right?
Yeah.
And then that made me think about circa 2002, 2003, something.
Yeah. Just started driving.
Spenny and I, so I had, at that point in my life, I don't know, 14, just thought it'd be dope to have an old VW bus, right?
Yep.
And talked about it for a while. And I don't know what kind of website we found this on, but Spenny and I found a used blue VW bus in Pennsylvania for something like $500 or something.
Yeah, it was
something
nothing. That would be worth like $40,000 now.
Yeah, something that at that time for us was still
a lot,
unreasonable amount of money, right? But we devised this pseudo plan to go to somehow get to Pennsylvania, buy this thing, drive it back to South Dakota, and then just trade off every other weekend.
Yeah.
Stupid bus.
I'm pretty sure it was Auto Trader, the old school Auto Trader, because we had I filtered it down to the point where like it had to be a manual, and we had to find the right one.
I mean, now you have to understand this never got to the point of us planning anything, because we never told our parents or anything. It was just kind of.
It was for sale for like months. It just kept showing up on the search.
And so it was always just this funny thing throughout the rest of high school. It's like, oh, we should have got that bus from Pennsylvania and drove it back. And we had no idea if it ran. Because obviously we never contacted the person and never got any farther than this cool kind of fun idea to talk about. But it just reminded me, it's just so stupid, right? To think that if we had pulled it off, somehow gotten to Pennsylvania, right, to this random little town,
would have gotten back
and then drove with the, I guess, assumption that it would just even run, right? Let alone get back 1,200 or 1,500 miles, however far that drive would have been, and then trade it every other weekend. So I don't know.
Awesome.
Seeing the
memory.
e-tron Audis just kind of had this cascade of thoughts and memories that ultimately led to that stupid blue VW bus in Pennsylvania.
It's hilarious. That's so funny. That's good. Well, getting back, I mean, so there's so much that happens in this film. It's hard to we don't want to sit here and go like line by line for like each thing. You just need to see it.
Yeah.
But basically he gets saved by his partner. They go to Prague to find the old retired CIA agent. She has unencrypted the file, and they're able to see like what the secrets are. Turns out that it's Carmichael has been, killing all these people, and he's not supposed to, and raging war, killing civilians and all sorts of stuff. So they're like, oh, well, we gotta find a way to make people aware of this, and we got to take him down. And
let's go to the news.
Let's go to the news. Yeah, exactly.
That was the option, to go to the news. They have zero other government contacts, right? That they can take this to.
I mean, he's off he doesn't know anybody. He's,
The CIA director
he's in the shadows.
The CIA director that they mailed it to and then confided with and had this conference about all this encrypted data. She has no ideas either. Nope. That's due to the news or something. I don't know. I'm retired. Not going to help you.
I just smoke my cigarettes. Yeah, so they all basically it comes down to the mercenaries show up at this lady's house because they know they're there somehow. I can't remember how they find him.
Oh, because they torture Fitzroy to see.
Oh yeah, they start pulling
they
out
torture
his
him,
nails.
but then they threaten to torture the niece.
Niece, that's right.
And then he just says, "Yeah, go here."
Yeah, go to Prague.
So,
well, yeah. So the mercenaries show up there. The retired CIA lady gives him a way to get out and escape, and she sits there and blows up her apartment with all those guys in it. And then this is where the epic battle begins, because he's being chased by cops in Prague because there's an explosion and he's running away from it. And then all these mercenaries show up in all these trucks and on these trains and stuff, and just start unleashing hell on this square. And he is handcuffed by the police to a bench, and the whole time the police and the mercenaries and these bounty hunters are all shooting each other and killing each other, and somehow he never gets shot at.
Yeah, I know. And then Lloyd is constantly screaming from this other location, "Just shoot him!" Right?
Just
don't
shoot
shoot each
him.
other. Just shoot him.
It was funny. Yeah. It was really funny.
Yeah.
But it was like, it was probably like 50 different people that just got annihilated.
Yeah.
And you think that he's finally going to get captured, and then no, doesn't. Gets out.
Yeah, that whole thing was action scene enough, and then it gets into this chase scene, and it's I don't know, it's just a spectacle, really. It's I don't know, 15 minutes probably runtime, something like that, something crazy.
He's like on this tram, and he's like running around, and he's on top of it. And then there's like at one point where he does he's looking over and he sees the reflection. The guy is underneath him because he can't see him from above, and he just watches him in the mirror, on the glass on the side, and then he just points his gun and fires and kills the guy. It's just like,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So yeah, it's basically it's really just all that. It's just him getting closer and closer to Sirius 6's goal is basically just to get the niece.
Yeah, he's on.
So he has to go through all this stuff.
No matter what, he's gonna get her.
Yeah. So eventually he gets there. One of the funny things, though, we mentioned how Fitzpatrick got tortured by Lloyd.
Yeah.
That scene started kind of funny, though. I thought it was it was actually really funny. The torture scene starts with Lloyd standing behind him and just grabbing his ears. Just kind of twisting. And it just looks so funny, but I mean, it probably hurt, right? It probably would hurt
I can't
to have
imagine.
that, but it just also was really funny.
Well, like when you just hit your ear on something and you're just like,
getting your ears boxed, right?
Yeah, it's the worst. I imagine that felt terrible.
Yeah.
But it was funny. He was like, I just thought of that.
I just thought of that. Yeah.
But
so anyways,
after all that stuff, the only thing that was cool was the lone wolf is this like assassin that's been hired by Lloyd, who just goes after him by himself, and he's in this hospital because he got shot during all this fighting on the train and stuff. And then this guy shows up, and they just start having this all-out fight in this, hospital room, and stabbing each other with scalpels or whatever else they got in there.
Yeah.
And he takes off, and he just drives off, and he drives off in his Audi, and he goes and brings the encrypted thing. But the thing that was so weird, once he got there, he found out that they were going to try and torture the niece. And he's like, no way, man, I'm out. I can't.
Yeah. Suddenly grows his conscience. Yeah.
It was just a weird character flip for the film.
Yeah. It's just have him not be involved. Right.
Yeah.
After that, just have him leave. Right. Cause it's
Drop
just, what does it gain? Right. It doesn't gain anything to the story to have this one random character suddenly grow a conscience but then still fight with the partner.
Yeah. So the pacemaker they've identified the location of where Claire is. So they know that Fitzroy's there, Lloyd is there. So they're going there, and they break in, they put on uniforms so they blend in, and this lone wolf assassin guy is there, and he starts fighting with Sierra 6's sidekick. And then right after they've been fighting for 5 minutes, and all of a sudden he's like,
yeah, I'm out.
Go.
No, you know what?
I'm out.
I'm good. It's just, these people aren't worthy or something, or these people have no, he said something like morality.
Yeah.
Or these people aren't honorable, something like that. Like, you just figured this out? What? He just witnessed them murdering police in Prague and civilians and destroying all this stuff. And he's suddenly came, and then apparently ostensibly knows Lloyd's reputation.
Yeah.
Right. It's just really stupid, right? Just have him drop off the necklace and leave. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Really
although that fight though was really kind of neat with the extension cord, right? And that power strip. Because they were kind of, I don't know, trying to choke each other out or something, and they were finding leverage off the other, but all centered around just this random power cord that they both found.
Yeah.
In this destroyed part of the building. So anyways, they I don't know, it's just a lot of fighting, a lot of action, and then it ends with this kind of cage match fight between Sierra 6 and Lloyd.
Well, yeah, they get to the they go into the Triwizard Maze from Harry Potter.
this hedge maze.
They go to the labyrinth. Yeah.
And so the partner had a shot the entire time. She could have killed Lloyd the entire time. And he said, no, I'm going to take him on myself. I don't get it. It's just like, his entire character is that he knows how to he knows how to get things done.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Having him be shot by a sniper is how you get things done. Not having a battle with him when he's been shot, stabbed in the gut, in the arm, through the hand. Right. I get it. Like, it would be lame. It would be a lame ending, right? But
yeah.
That's the thing when you don't have enough character development, but you try to make him seem one way, but you write him another way, and I don't know. And then he gets this other government person who was in on the whole thing and is dirty, showed up and shot Lloyd and offered him a
number
deal.
2. Yeah, we didn't even talk about her. Her name was Susan. She was the number 2 to Carmichael.
So basically he was put back in the same position of being in prison at the end of the movie. And the niece was basically on house arrest, kind of, I don't know why. And then he breaks her out, and then what? Prisoner. She just has to live. Yeah, the rest of her life, she's I don't know, 13 or something. So the rest of her life, she has to be on the run.
Yeah, she's
what kind of ending is that? I don't know.
Well, it was weird because at the end, so he gets her out, saves her, but then he takes a car, and that she's going to be tracked because she has a pacemaker. But it does lead to there's already a sequel in the works, so That's part of it.
All right.
So there's a sequel in the works, and then there's also a spin-off that's coming based on this film. So they've really thought this out. They're really working on it. So
all right.
Yeah, man.
Well, this was a departure from what we normally talk about. We can, if I seem super critical, it's because there's nothing to really dunk on. So I was stretching.
Yeah, I mean, there was just a few things that were kind of maybe were a little, not sequential and didn't fit into the kind of the plot of the film and stuff.
But I mean, we're talking, this is an action movie, right?
Yeah.
The purpose is to be entertaining from an action perspective, not, is this character developed really well? So
yeah.
I was stretching there, trying to make light of something, but when there really wasn't much. So let's see, score time.
Yep.
This is the Ascension to 10 podcast. We rate scores, 11-point system, Ascension to 10. What you got, Spinny?
I thought this was a fun film. Like, I just enjoyed watching it. I was laughing a lot. I know we talked about, like, Ryan Gosling's character not having a lot of lines and stuff, but when he did talk, or the way he interacted, they were funny.
Yeah.
With that, and I really like the action sequences, like the time that went into those. I mean, it's literally like the whole film, kind of that, but you get some breaks in between. But just the time that they take to orchestrate that and choreograph the fighting and all that stuff, I thought that was really cool. I'm gonna give this a 6.4.
6.4. That is for you.
I think it's just under
a little bit. So you like Adam Project more, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I like this a little bit more than Adam Project. I could see myself watching this again, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say 7.1.
Ooh. Yeah, with Adam Project, I feel like I had a stronger personal connection to it. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
There was more emotion tied to it. This one was, it was a good action film. Yeah.
Yep.
So maybe it is part of that character development where I just didn't have that connection to it. So.
Sure.
Well, yeah. No, it's a good film. I think people should watch it. It's fun to watch.
Yep.
I think that anybody that likes action, like seeing stuff blow up, all that kind of fun stuff, choreographed fighting, it's good. Check it out.
That is a perfect segue, Spenny. You said seeing things blow up.
All right. What are we doing?
Because we're going to kind of stay on this path where we're going to stay in the action movie realm, but this is a little bit more sci-fi-ish.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long, long time since I've seen this, but I just, for some reason, thought of it today. And I thought,
boy.
I bet that's probably going to be a good one. We're going to watch Demolition Man. Sly Stallone, Wesley Snipes. 90s, here we come. 90s, Sylvester Stallone, here we come.
Sylvester Stallone was just banging them out back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Because he had this one, he had Judge Dredd. He was just coming off of the Rocky films.
So much. Yeah.
Wow. Cool.
Let me see when this actually came out, though, because I am curious. I think it had to be in the 90s.
I think so. Yeah. It was when we were growing up. 92?
And 93.
93? Okay.
So, yeah.
Oh, buddy.
Obviously, I would watch this on, reruns on TBS or something, but I just remember some things are just, even then, I thought pretty stupid.
I forgot Sandra Bullock was in this. I forgot that she was in this. Wow.
Yeah.
And Benjamin Bratt. Wow. A lot of good people in this. I almost forgot about this. I can't remember. I know I've seen this, but it's been so long that it'll be nice to see it again.
There is another. So this is not the only Sylvester Stallone movie I have on my list. And come October time, there's going to be one in particular that has zero nothing to do with sci-fi, but it is a Sylvester Stallone movie that I think will be relevant to the October timeframe for us and to what we're doing in October. Maybe you're getting the hint. I'll just leave that as a teaser right now.
Okay.
But it was a turd of a movie. Super bad.
Great.
And I can't wait to watch it again just to dunk on this thing.
I'm surprised that I'm surprised we haven't done a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie yet. No.
Ooh.
But we'll get there.
Yeah, plenty of those in the future
then. Well, that's good. I'm excited about that. That'll be fun to watch.
Yeah.
I think.
All right.
Might not live.
We'll see.
Who knows?
Who knows?
That goes with these.
Yeah.
As always, you guys can find us on socials at Ascension #2 TEN. You can email us at boys@ascension210.com. If you have any recommendations, typical days, love to hear from you. And
yeah,
what else?
I don't know. Thanks for listening. If you've made it this far, and thanks for sticking around with us for 21 episodes. I guess next week will be episode 20, season 1. If you think you have an idea about when season 1 ends and season 2 begins, please write to us. We'll tell you if you're
so
right
we
or not.
know. So we know.
So we know. Don't give it away. All right.
All right.
Well,
thanks everybody.
Thanks for tuning in. See ya.
Bye.
Ascension to 10.